Hey everyone, today we're diving into the world of operating systems to compare Windows and Mac. Let's see what makes them similar and what sets them apart. For years, this debate has raged on. Which OS reigns supreme? Is it the ubiquitous Windows found on a vast majority of PCs worldwide, or is it the sleek and stylish macOS, known for its creative prowess? We'll be taking an in-depth look at the key features, strengths, and weaknesses of each platform. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of which OS might be the perfect fit for your needs. Alright, let's kick things off with the first thing you interact with, the user interface. Windows has always been about that classic desktop experience. You've got your taskbar at the bottom, your start menu, and the ability to customize just about everything. Want multiple monitors? Windows has got you covered. Need to organize your files in a specific way? No problem, Windows lets you do your thing. macOS, on the other hand, takes a different approach. It's all about that clean, minimalist aesthetic. Everything just feels smooth and polished, from the dock to the menu bar. Apple prioritizes a consistent design language across all their devices, so if you're using an iPhone, that macOS interface will feel instantly familiar. Now, Windows has made strides in recent years with its fluent design language, introducing transparency and rounded corners, but it still retains that customizable DNA. You can tweak themes, colors, and even the sounds. macOS allows for some customization, but it's more about subtle changes rather than a complete overhaul. When it comes to gestures and trackpad support, both operating systems have really upped their game. Windows precision touchpads have become the gold standard for smooth scrolling and multi-finger gestures. macOS has long been praised for its intuitive trackpad experience, and it continues to impress with features like spaces for virtual desktops and mission control for an overview of all your open windows. One area where macOS really shines is its integration with the Apple ecosystem. If you're rocking an iPhone, iPad, and a Mac, features like handoff and universal clipboard just make life easier. You can seamlessly switch between devices, copy and paste text and images, and even answer calls directly on your Mac. Windows has made some attempts at cross-device integration, but it's not quite as seamless as Apple's ecosystem. Ultimately, the choice between Windows and Mac's user interface comes down to personal preference. Do you value flexibility and customization above all else? Windows is your go-to? Do you prefer a streamlined, aesthetically pleasing experience with tight ecosystem integration? macOS might be right up your alley. Okay, let's talk software. This is a big one because the apps you use on a daily basis can make or break your computing experience. Windows has historically dominated the software market, and it's not hard to see why. It's the go-to platform for businesses, gamers, and everyday users alike. The sheer volume of software available for Windows is staggering. From productivity suites like Microsoft Office to creative tools like Adobe Photoshop, you're pretty much guaranteed to find what you need. And let's not forget about gaming. Windows is the undisputed king of PC gaming with a massive library of titles and support for the latest graphics cards and gaming peripherals. macOS, on the other hand, has a more curated software library. Don't get me wrong, you can find great apps for macOS, but the selection isn't as vast as Windows. However, macOS shines when it comes to creative software. Apple's own suite of professional apps, including Final Cut Pro for video editing, Logic Pro for music production, and Xcode for app development, are industry-leading tools favored by many professionals. And let's not forget about the Mac App Store. While it might not have the same sheer number of apps as the Microsoft Store, it does offer a curated selection of high-quality apps that have been vetted by Apple. This can be a plus for users who prioritize security and peace of mind. One thing to keep in mind is compatibility. If you rely on specific Windows-only software for work or play, switching to Mac might not be feasible. While there are ways to run Windows programs on a Mac using virtualization software like Parallels Desktop, it's not always a seamless experience. Ultimately, the best operating system for you depends on your software needs. Are you a gamer who needs access to the latest and greatest titles? Windows is the clear winner. Are you a creative professional who values Apple's suite of pro apps? macOS might be the better choice. Alright, let's talk about performance. This is where things get interesting because both Windows and macOS have made significant strides in recent years. Windows has always been known for its raw power and versatility. You can find Windows machines with a mind-boggling array of hardware configurations, from budget-friendly laptops to high-end gaming rigs that can handle the most demanding tasks. And with the latest processors from Intel and AMD, Windows PCs are capable of delivering blistering performance. macOS, on the other hand, has traditionally focused on optimization and efficiency. Apple designs both the hardware and software for its Macs, which allows them to squeeze every last drop of performance out of their components. Macs are known for their smooth performance even on older hardware. In recent years, Apple has been making waves with its own line of M1, M2 and M2 Pro chips. These ARM-based processors have been blowing away the competition in terms of performance and power efficiency. Macs powered by these new chips are incredibly fast and responsive, and they offer incredible battery life. But it's not just about raw power. Both Windows and macOS have made improvements to their operating systems to enhance performance. Windows 11, for example, introduced features like direct storage, which allows games to load assets directly from the SSD, resulting in significantly faster loading times. macOS Monterey brought improvements to memory management and multitasking, making it even smoother to switch between demanding applications. When it comes to hardware options, Windows is the undisputed champion. You can find a Windows PC to fit any budget and any need. Whether you're a student looking for an affordable laptop, a gamer who needs a powerful desktop, or a creative professional who demands a color-accurate display, there's a Windows machine out there for you. Macs, on the other hand, offer a more curated selection of hardware. Apple controls the entire hardware ecosystem, from the processors to the displays, which allows them to maintain a high level of quality control. However, this also means that Macs tend to be more expensive than comparable Windows PCs. Ultimately, the best operating system for performance depends on your specific needs and budget. If you need the absolute best performance possible and you're willing to pay a premium, a Mac with an M1 or M2 chip is hard to beat. But if you're on a tighter budget or you need a wider range of hardware options, Windows is the way to go. Alright, let's move on to security, a topic that's more important than ever in the digital age. Both Windows and macOS have stepped up their game in recent years, but there are some key differences in their approaches. macOS has long been considered the more secure operating system, and for good reason. Apple has a tight grip on its ecosystem, which means there are fewer vulnerabilities for hackers to exploit. macOS also comes with a suite of built-in security features, including Gatekeeper, which helps prevent the installation of malicious software, and XProtect, which provides real-time malware protection. Windows, on the other hand, has historically been a bigger target for malware. Because it's the most popular operating system in the world, cybercriminals are more likely to target Windows users. However, Microsoft has made significant strides in recent years to improve Windows security. Windows 10 and 11 come with Windows Defender, a robust antivirus program that provides real-time protection against malware. Microsoft also regularly releases security updates to patch vulnerabilities and keep your system protected. One area where Windows has an edge is in its customizable security settings. You have granular control over things like firewall rules, user account permissions, and data encryption. This level of customization can be a bit overwhelming for casual users, but it's a boon for power users and IT professionals who need to fine-tune their security settings. macOS, on the other hand, takes a more streamlined approach to security. While you can adjust some security settings, Apple generally prefers to keep things simple and user-friendly. This approach works well for most users, but it can be a bit limiting for those who need more control over their security. Another factor to consider is the App Store ecosystem. Apple has a rigorous app review process, which helps to weed out malicious apps before they can reach users. The Microsoft Store has also improved its security in recent years, but it's still not as strict as Apple's App Store. Ultimately, the most secure operating system is the one that's kept up to date with the latest security patches and used responsibly. Both Windows and macOS offer robust security features, but they have different strengths and weaknesses. Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room: price. This is one area where Windows and macOS have traditionally differed significantly. Windows, being the more ubiquitous operating system, has always offered a wider range of pricing options. You can find Windows laptops and desktops at virtually every price point, from budget-friendly options to high-end machines that cost several $1,000s. And of course, you can always build your own Windows PC if you're feeling adventurous. macOS, on the other hand, has always been associated with a premium price tag. Apple's Macs are known for their sleek design, high-quality components, and tight integration with the Apple ecosystem, but all of that comes at a cost. You'll typically pay a significant premium for a Mac compared to a similarly spec'd Windows PC. But it's not just about the upfront cost of the hardware. You also need to consider the long-term cost of ownership. Windows PCs tend to depreciate in value faster than Macs, so you might not get as much money back if you decide to sell it down the line. Macs, on the other hand, tend to hold their value better, which can make them a better investment in the long run. Another factor to consider is the cost of software. Windows software can be expensive, especially if you need to purchase a copy of Microsoft Office or Adobe Creative Cloud. However, there are also plenty of free and open-source software options available for Windows. macOS, on the other hand, comes with a suite of free productivity and creative apps, including Pages, Numbers, Keynote, GarageBand, and iMovie. These apps might not be as full-featured as their Microsoft and Adobe counterparts, but they're more than capable for most users. Ultimately, the best operating system for value depends on your budget and your needs. If you're on a tight budget and you're comfortable with a wider range of hardware and software options, Windows is the way to go. But if you're willing to pay a premium for a more polished and integrated experience, macOS might be worth the extra cost. So there you have it, folks. Whether you're Team Windows or Team Mac, both have their strengths and weaknesses. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer and why. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more tech comparisons.